Welcome to Business 301, Business Analytics. This is the intro or preliminaries unit, Unit 0. So contact information, my name is Professor Dean. The best way is to reach me is by email at my main.edu account. It's matthew.dean1 at main.edu. And you should expect about a 48-hour expected response time. On weekends it might go a little bit longer than that. If you happen to be in the Portland area, my office location is in Luther Bonney Hall, room 517. You can try to call my office phone and leave a message. I might see the flashing red light, but may not. And so that number is extension 4854. So what is this course? Basically, we're going to study the scientific process of transforming data into insights for making better decisions. That's the definition of analytics. And we're going to be doing it in a business setting most of the time. There are 4 broad learning goals for the course. First is to be able to describe and explain the importance of business analytics and how they are applied in the business world. So basically, why are you taking this course? You should be able to answer that question by the end of the course. The second learning goal is to analyze data and think both logically and quantitatively about possible solutions. So everything we will do in this course is based on data. So we're going to be manipulating data, and many times those data are numbers, hence the quantitative part. The third learning goal, illustrate computer-based quantitative decision-making skills. We will be using Microsoft Excel version 2017 heavily in this course. So you have 5 total Excel assignments for the course. I will be expecting you to be able to do something and to be able to demonstrate that with those Excel assignments. You will also have to be able to do that for the exams. The fourth learning goal is to develop and assess tools that can be used in business settings. So we'll look at a bunch of different tools. Hopefully you'll be able to see how they are applied in business settings. The syllabus, always check the one on Blackboard. It's the one that will always be current and overrides any previous versions. If you look at the bottom, the footer of it, it'll have a modified date on there. And so make sure you have the most recent one when you're looking at things. The syllabus is basically your contract with me, so make sure you read it carefully and closely. The book, we're using a custom book, so on Blackboard under Start Here Syllabus, there is a link to how to order the book. It's published through LeanPub. It's a work in process, and it will be updated regularly throughout the semester. All right, and you will get free updates for as long as you want to keep receiving them. The book is yours forever and ever after you purchase it from LeanPub. How are you going to get graded in the course? So again, if you look at the syllabus, here's the breakdown. There's a project idea that you need to hand in at the end of the semester. That's worth 10% of your grade. It's a written assignment. Yes, I expect you to be able to write English cohesively and comprehensively and make it sound good. There are quizzes. Drop the lowest quiz, use the other ones to calculate the 10% score there. Excel assignments, again, drop the lowest one there and use the other ones for 20%. Your first exam, which covers descriptive analytics, is 20% of your course grade. The second exam is also 20%, and then the final exam, which is cumulative, is 20% of your final grade as well. One important thing to note is that no late submissions are ever accepted. All due dates are firm. There are no wiggle rooms on that at all. Quizzes will be administered via Blackboard. I'm going to give you 2 chances at each quiz with the highest grade counting towards the overall grade calculation. And again, I'm dropping one of the lowest quiz grade, so the best 5 out of 6 counts towards it. These kind of questions will generally be multiple choice, true, false, multiple answer, which means there could be more than one correct answer, or matching questions. So more kind of subjective kind of stuff rather than actually crunching any numbers. There might be a few that you have to crunch some numbers. The exams would be administered via Blackboard. All the exam dates are on the syllabus, so take a close look at the schedule at the end of the syllabus. The exams will be opened up at 6 a.m. in the morning of when the exam is, and closes at 6 p.m. that same day. You have a 12-hour window to take the exam. On those dates, I will be available to answer questions during approximately 10 a.m., 10:15 a.m. to about 11:30 a.m. or noonish. That I'll be answering questions during that time. The exam is untimed, so you could take the whole 12 hours if you want to. That's not the point of the exam. If you're taking 12 hours, then you've missed the point of the exam. You can save it and re-enter during that 12-hour window between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So what that does is it allows you to go in first thing in the morning, open it up, look at the questions, answer what you can, take a break, go have some breakfast, think about the questions a little bit, and then go back in and answer the questions once you've had some time to absorb what the questions were asking. There are also Excel assignments. There are a total of 5 Excel assignments. Again, dropping the lowest, so the best 4 out of 5 count to your overall grade. All of these things, exams, assignments, quizzes, are all individual endeavors, so please make sure you adhere to that. So I'll give you a data set. You'll have to do some stuff to it and answer some questions that get popped up on the Blackboard for that. You may also be given Excel output and asked to interpret it. Depends on the unit and what we're doing at that time. This doesn't apply to you for an online course, but because you're online, I assume you have a computer, so you better be using it. The schedule, again, can be found at the end of the syllabus. The final exam date is also found at the end of the syllabus. It's on that Wednesday during exam, and again, it's that 12-hour window. And I don't want to introduce anybody here because you're online class, so we're not going to do that. And then this also does not apply to you. Questions during class. Actually, we have a Q&A discussion board on Blackboard that you can use, that other people can answer the questions, other students can answer the questions, so you can post questions that way. So now let's move on to Excel Basics. So there's a document out on Blackboard under Unit 0 called Basics of Excel. I scraped that from another textbook. You should read that. It's very, very minimal. Again, you should have taken ABU 190 or BUS 195 and passed with at least a letter grade of a C to be in this course. If you have not done that, please let me know and I'll kick you out of the course. So let's look at just a few things. So definitions. A workbook is different than a worksheet. A workbook is the overall entity itself of Excel. It can contain multiple worksheets. So if you look down at the bottom, there are little tabs. Each tab is a worksheet. And then a cell. A cell is referenced by the column and row. It's defined by the intersection of a column and a row. A row is the horizontal part. A column is the up and down, the vertical part. All right. And so we often reference it with the column and then the row. So like A1 is the uppermost left-hand corner, the northwest corner. When we refer to cells within other cells, we can do it either absolute or relative reference. Absolute is basically anchoring or fixing, making stationary that particular reference. So then if I copy that formula down, it would still point to that same cell. To get absolute references, you put dollar signs in front of the column and the row, the column letter and the row number. You can also anchor just based on just the row or just the column. Relative means that there's no dollar sign showing up in that cell reference. To do absolute referencing on a Windows machine, which is what I'm going to be demonstrating with exclusively in this course, you hit, once you've clicked on the cell that you're trying to reference, then you can hit F4. You may have to on a Windows machine hit function, hold down the function key, then hit F4 depending on how you have your laptop or keyboard set up. And then on a Mac, I believe it's Command T will do it. Formulas, they begin with an equal sign. You should know this, but again, this is very basic stuff that we're going over. The other thing you can do is click on the Insert Function button to help find appropriate formulas that might be helpful. So if we were trying to figure out the biggest number in a column or in a row, we would say, what would that be? And we could hit Insert Function and search for biggest or search for maximum, and you'd see that max would be the function that you want to use. The Insert Function button has like a script F with a subscript of the letter X. It's up next to the formula bar at the top of the screen in Excel. Another useful thing that we'll use quite a bit, or I use quite a bit, is AUTOFILL. So what it does is once I have formulas in certain cells, I want to fill it, I want to copy that formula all the way down until I run out of data in rows for that same column. So instead of Control C and then Control V, copy paste, I can auto fill it down. If you move your mouse pointer down to the lower right hand corner, so the southeast corner, and it changes from a white plus sign like a red cross sign to a black plus sign, then you can just double click and it will autofill down to the bottom of where it is. You can also, once you get to that, drag it down as well. And then there are lots of useful keyboard shortcuts. You can see the link posted on Blackboard for that. That's pointed directly at Microsoft's support page. There's also a shorter version at the end of the basics of Excel document that's on Blackboard, but you're supposed to read for this first unit. So hopefully that is a good brief introduction to the course and what we're going to be doing in the overview of Excel. Again, I expect you to know a lot more Excel than what we just talked about here. If you are having trouble with that, you should go back to your book that you got for BUS 195 or ABU 190 and make sure you have that handy.